Hello, ladies and gentlemen, to another GeekVerse review episode. I am the Squirrel Chaser, Kirkland Patzer.
On the beginning of the end, Taylor Field.
Yes, it's just the two of us, as always, for this Creature Commando review series that we've been doing. Um, yeah, episode 4 this evening. Before we get into that, though, just a couple plugs. This month has been super duper juicy, busy. A lot of content, a lot of reviews, a lot of news, a lot of Superman stuff going on. Yeah, too much to say at this moment. So I'm just going to say go check out all our feeds. Go check out the Patreon. That's the greatest place to support us. Shout out to our Patreon producers. We got Aaron Braden, April of Darkness, Jack Grant, Muds, Sam, Superbad Mike, The Good God Loves Me 69, Jeremy Renner, and Charlie Randall. They are at the highest tier, at the pinnacle of support. We appreciate each and every one of you. I'm tired. Let's just get into it, Taylor Field. We got we got
Yes,
Creature
let's do it.
Commandos episode 4. Yeah, what do you think?
Ooh, uh, yeah. This episode had a lot more kind of like wow. We get a little bit more of the narrative unraveled and answered here, and it's. Are we talking spoilers right now? Or no, not spoilers. Not spoilers to start, I guess, and spoilers
I
after.
guess so. I guess overall
uh,
thoughts, yeah.
so yeah, they give us the backstory of another character, which is not one that I was expecting, and very sad, very sad, very heart wrenching. And so then after that, we kind of get the main reveal of what's going on with okay our story and our characters and not our characters, I guess our main character and how things are kind of turning around and it's
I
like
love your
oh shit.
avoidance of spoilers. You're like describing what happens, but just blanking out names like a government document.
Yeah, all classified black ink. So so far I'm really interested to see what's going to happen here, and the fact that this is technically the same universe as the Suicide Squad, which is the same universe as like Man of Steel and all like Peacemaker and all those other characters, and it's just weird to see how they've kind of added their own, I guess, their own series of events, I guess, that could occur depending how things go throughout this show and how our characters decide to progress with this narrative. Um, and I guess I kind of like that it kind of taps into the larger overall kind of world of DC here, but it was definitely a really a good episode. I would say I still prefer the previous one where we got like GI Robot and everything that he was doing with his origin story as
And the
opposed to this one, but
Nazis.
the Nazis, yeah, this one definitely is a good runner up because I feel like there's a good portion of it felt long, which is crazy because again, these are only 20-minute episodes, and we got two different narratives that were the focal. Well, two and a half because we got one character that we hadn't seen for a bit kind of appear and give us a little bit more of
Mm.
a push forward on their story, and that was kind of humorous as well. So I'm excited to see where this is going to go, and so far, yeah, I think the show is it's good. It's a good time.
It's a good time. Yeah, we're halfway through, eh? This is episode 4 of 7.
Halfway.
So there's only 3 more remaining, which is kind of surprising. But yeah, no, I'm continuing to vibe along with this show. I'm really liking what we're getting. I like the humor, like the action, like the character stuff. I like the what's the word I'm looking. Well, I like the ratio of maybe like character backstory stuff, and then still advancing the story and touching upon other stuff that we've already kind of been talking about, but like we're still just building upon it. So I think it's like a perfect little mixture for a 22-minute episode, and yeah, I would take more if they had more for me, but I think the way that it's paced is really working. Obviously, as I said every week, I just wish this was a binge model because they are short episodes, and I do just want to watch the whole thing because I'm liking it so much. Um, but yeah, no, it's good stuff. So yeah, I think I'm probably in agreement with you on last week being a little bit better, but still really liked what we got.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll just minor spoiler here. This is the backstory for the squirrel chaser being Weasel. I was very shocked that I feel like this was the closest I came to like crying throughout the whole show. It was about fucking Weasel and his origins. So that was very surprising just because of how much of a freak that character is, in the Suicide Squad and just overall. But I just feel like the music that they had in the flashback scenes and everything, I was getting touched. So yeah, in the right way, in the emotional heartstrings. So yeah, no, I liked it a lot, and I think that's it. I think, juice being filled. Let's just jump
Hmm.
into the spoiler section. 5 minutes in, why not? We're not even gonna give you an ad break. There's not even a point for that. Yeah. So bounce out right now if you don't want to be spoiled on episode 4, chasing squirrels or squirrel chaser, whatever the hell it's called. Um, but yeah, you've been warned. Here we are. Weasel origin story. We get to meet a lawyer here who is representing who she's calling John Smith, right?
Yeah, I think
Like the
John
blank
Doe.
John Doe. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds right. Um, and yeah, she's like representing this individual because apparently, he doesn't have proper representation, which is not too surprising. I found it funny when Mr. Flag is just like bouncing off of what she's saying. It's like, no, we don't know his name because he can't speak. And then just basically lean into why he is not innocent and why he doesn't deserve legal, representation because he's not a person.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just a funny little interaction there. But yeah, we get Weasel's origin. It's not even really his origin. It's just like how he got arrested because he
That's
just
right.
is in
Yeah.
the brush looking like a monster. But he wasn't aggressive towards the children. He wasn't biting them or anything. They were really loving
Well, I don't
him.
know. Like, you see how he's handling that ball, and that weird redneck guy just saw him like tackling children, and
Yeah, but they were laughing, right? Like it's like playing with a big dog. Like they're not gonna eat you.
hmm.
Well, maybe if it went longer, maybe he would have. But it seemed. I mean, no, I take that back because he was super protective of the children. Right when the explosions were going off, he was getting all sad, trying to save them. Literally took multiple bullets for that one little girl. That like yeah, just the whole sequence and like really sad music in those moments. I was just like, oh my god, this is so sad. This poor, misunderstood character, Mr. Weasel here, just being hunted for what he looks like. But the whole sequence was very like, what the fuck is going on here? Because man, those cops did not give a fuck that there's children in the way. They
Oh
were just
yeah.
open firing like fucking murder, and there's just like so many like alive children, like they're clearly children. I feel like in no world would like a cop just clearly open fire like on a child that's right there, even if
the
there is
the
a
girl was
monster
right there
holding.
to be saved, but they chose to pin down the weasel and let the girl get buried by the fucking fire and the timbers coming down. Like,
Oh my god, I know.
what a horrible! Like, they're horrible cops. Horrible cops. They need to be
Absolutely
fired.
terrible cops and never like put them down. They're just opening fire right away and not trying to save the child at all. Like it was just so yeah, terrible, terrible, terrible police officers. Not worthy of the badge. um, but yeah, what did you think about it? Did it touch your heartstrings like it did for me
It
in a
it
weird
did
way?
it really really did when like he wanted to save all the kids and just they actually show like a kid like multiple kids but like the one kid like taking his last breath and dying like holy fuck. And this is gonna sound super cheesy, super corny, and you can judge me if you want, but man, after having a kid, when I see kids shit like this, when kids are dying or getting hurt, it fucking stresses me out. It really, really
Yeah.
does. I don't like watching it, and I did not need to see it here. I'm just gonna be blunt with it. I did not need to see it, and so when that little girl was not successfully saved, that pissed me off so much because yeah, you got these shitty cops that are like shooting and like it just didn't make any sense and what they were yeah, it didn't make any sense and it just pissed me off. And not to mention too, where are the fucking teachers in this big ass school? Like, why do they just lock the kids outside and
That's a
not
really good
check
point,
on
actually.
them?
I didn't think about that because it's like nighttime essentially by the time that the explosion goes off, but it wasn't right when
Yeah,
they're outside. So it seems like they're just on recess or something like that. But
you'd think, but yeah, then it's nighttime and then freaking crazy kooky guy in the woods like there's a werewolf at our school with the kids like Jesus, all these people I just feel like we're just idiots and bad people dealing with the
yeah,
situation.
yeah, it was a
So
very. I think like I was just so focused on the actual what was going on between Weasel and them just playing with the children and everything. I didn't really think about the whole logistics of what was going on. Like even just the fact this wild man just like brings a gun into a school like that easily, like it was just yeah, wild. But I don't know. I like what we got with Weasel. So that was kind of like the one section of the piece of pie in this week's episode. The other focus. I'm gonna leave the big one for last, actually. But the
Mhm.
next one, we get Frankenstein back. He's obsessing over the bride as he always does. And you know, early on, like he saw Mr. Flag with the bride, and he's all jealous. He's super low self esteem character. This Frankenstein in episode one, I feel like I really wasn't a big fan of him just because it was a lot. I feel like us getting him in small dosages, you know, like the great Vince Masuka, I feel like it's a good appropriate balance.
Yes.
Because this was my favorite episode with him actually, like him just being so pathetic and like just crying over Flag when he's just yeah he's like, oh, you're just so handsome and like yeah, like she deserves the best guy and you're the best guy, like he's just so like yeah, like emotional and no confidence. And um, I found all that humor really good around those two. And when he's like chasing down Flag and Flag's like running into his house trying to run away, uh, I was totally laughing like that whole sequence. So I thought that was really good there. And I'm interested now. What's gonna happen when Frankenstein meets Bride again, and how he's eventually gonna make it into this crew? Because I imagine that would be the end result. But yeah, what do you think about him just kind of man crushing over Flag here?
Yeah, I liked I like that, and he's just so insecure, and it's
Yeah,
just absolutely crazy because he hired these guys to take him there on this helicopter, and what does he do? He ends up just like breaking their necks and killing them. And it's like, what, this guy is fucked, which is fair. He's a resurrected like monster, but Jesus Christ.
he's talking about Flag's like facial hair. He's like, but I can't grow facial hair because I'm just dead flesh. Or he's
Yeah,
like, and David
yeah,
Harbour like as the voice is good too. It's
he is
definitely
good.
grown on me.
Yeah. So I think all that was quite something, and yeah, him just being obsessed with Rick Flag, takes a Sharpie and writes Rick Flag on his hand, and then yeah, just like Rick Flag is at his door trying to go home and go inside, and you just see this car crash behind him. It's this little car, and then he gets out and he starts like running like Rick Flag, and then there's like a close up shot of Rick Flag struggling to put his key in the fucking lock, and he's like panicking. So that was really funny. And after all of that, just that kerfuffle just ends with him just like, can you get down so we can talk? Yeah, like, oh, do you want you want a coffee? It's just this them like leveling, and uh, even after they kind of come to terms with everything, and he's like, oh, you have your love and everything, the princess and all that stuff. Even before, when he didn't, Frankenstein didn't know that Rick Flag was talking about the princess and not the bride, and he's like, yeah, princess, and Rick Flag or Frankenstein's like, oh, you have nicknames for each other. You call her princess, like all that crazy shit. That was making me laugh. But
Yeah.
when he's like, oh, best friends, and Rick Flag like just chokes on his fucking tea and spits it out. So there's a lot of shit going on there that I'm laughing and I'm having a good time with, and I'm excited to see where that's gonna go. We know that he does not have a good relationship with the bride at all, even though he thinks so. It's very one sided. So we'll see how that dynamic really pans out here, and if they're going to arrest him, or kind of how they're going to enlist him or whatnot. Because yeah, he's going to help, I guess, Rick Flag get back to, I can't remember the name of the place, but get there and protect the princess. And then in turn, I'm sure Rick Flag is going to be like, okay, here's the bride, which is just, that's how it's going to happen, because the bride's already on her way back there with the team, right?
Yeah, it's all being set up that way. And
Yeah.
the bride is our new leader of our creature commandos.
Mm-hmm.
Very visceral scene when she's in the cafeteria, and you know
Oh.
the big ape man is and like a vampire lady is like just
Mm-hmm.
bullying poor Nina Mazursky, little fish girl there. And then it was fun, man. Also, like low key MVP for me in this entire show is Dr. Phosphorus. You know, like you talked about him early on in the show. All of his lines are just so fucking funny to me, and like just his whole dynamic and what the character is, and the way that he just I don't know, interacts with every character is just it just gets me. Like it's just 100% working for me. 10 out of 10. Uh, early on, when he was talking about being like just helping out Rick Flag when he was getting it on with the princess, keeping the guards out of the door, and just all these things here. Being buddies with the bride. She's like, "You think we're friends now?" He's like, "Absolutely." Like obviously that's what's going on. And I don't know, he's just the fact that he's just like basically a Ghost Rider thing as well. It just
Hmm.
adds something to it. Because I wouldn't expect that character to be that comedic, obviously, just by his appearance. But yeah, no, he's fantastic. So they're chatting. Bride goes over and backs up her girl Nina Mazursky, and then what a fucking violent murder! Just chops the head like in half with the dinner tray there. Um, yeah, just wild. So I like that sequence, and then of course what follows is she's the new creature
Hmm.
commander.
Yeah, that scene really caught me off guard. I didn't think she was actually just gonna like annihilate and kill this Bigfoot. Kind of sad, but that's what happens.
Another fallen Bigfoot.
Another
Rest in
fallen
peace.
Bigfoot. Yeah, but yeah, so she's leading the team now, and yeah, that's why I think we're gonna get kind of set up here with something between her and Frankenstein in the next episode. No mention of GI Robot. I thought for sure that
Yeah, that's right.
I thought
That
she'd
poor
be
boy.
like Nina would be repairing him, maybe a little bit of an allusion to that in this episode, but no, it doesn't seem like that's the case. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering, is he really really done? I know like Gunn voices Weasel and GI Robot, so maybe they thought, well, you're still voicing one character, so there you go. Maybe it's just in his
They met
contract.
the
I don't know.
contractual obligation through the James Gunn nepotism, clause in the contract.
That's right.
Uh, yeah, I think we'll get it because we haven't had a Nina episode, right? We haven't had a Nina
We haven't.
flashback, so I feel like it could possibly come up there. We get her origin, and then it kind of ends with her helping out GI Robot because it seemed like it was set up that way, and of course he saved her, so it would just be a nice little she helps him get well, evens it up. He helped her, she helps him. So I think it'll happen then. Possibly next week's episodes. I don't know if there's like an episode title list or something. Yeah, no, they're just the numbers for now. So yeah, there's no reveal there what it could be. But yeah, sad. I'm hoping we get GI Robot back. I really liked him. Thought he was badass and super OP. Really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very, very much OP with all those upgrades and stuff.
Yeah.
And I want to see more of him in action and
Yeah, me
interacting
too.
with more of the other characters too. Because I mean, he was really just building up a relationship with Nina and that friendship. And now we see, okay, like with him gone, she doesn't have that kind of friendship. Although that friendship has transitioned over to the bride, I guess you could say, based on this episode. But
Yeah.
yeah, so the team is definitely divided, and we're gonna see them kind of bounce back when we get to whatever that kingdom is called. I can't freaking remember, but
Yeah.
we get a little bit of insight here because the girl who I can't remember her. I'm bad with these names right now. Again, I'm more Marvel centric than I am DC, and so these characters I'm trying to learn their names, and so this
Mm.
villain who's trying to assassinate the princess, she's
Cersei.
clairvoyant. Cersei, yes, thank you. She's clairvoyant, and so she gives Waller a Waller or Walker. I think it's Waller. Amanda
Waller.
Waller.
You got it.
Yeah.
Amanda Waller.
So she gives Amanda Waller kind of like a vision of what's going to happen, and now we finally get to see why we need to go through with killing off this princess, and it was definitely not what I was expecting. What did you think of it?
What did I think about it? We're gonna go to an ad break, and then I'll give my thoughts there. All right, Taylor Field. What was your question? It was a long ad break. I'm
So
sorry.
many
I
ads.
yeah, there's a lot of ads in there.
What did you think of the basically the clairvoyant vision
Oh
that
yes,
Cersei gave Waller?
that was shocking to me. I think even just seeing a lot of obviously big DC characters in there. We got Superman. We got Peacekeeper in there or Peacemaker. Peacekeeper. I
Peacekeeper.
always get it wrong. Thank you. Peacekeeper. I can't remember if I saw Batman.
Sorry, Peacemaker.
Is it Peacemaker? Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. It sounded odd in my mind because I'm like Peacemaker because it's like close to a pacemaker. It in the heart doesn't really
Yeah.
doesn't roll off the tongue lace, but Peacemaker. Yeah, we got Wonder Woman. I can't remember if I saw I don't know. I watched half the episode like last night, so it's kind of muffled in my brain on that specific sequence. But
You've got Batman up there for
oh, it is
sure.
Batman. Okay,
Yeah.
and yeah, no, I thought it was a really powerful imagery of everything, even just like the tyrannical like laughter that the princess has. Like she just feels like a supervillain. She's got like a just a badass like armor set that she's going, and all of her troops and everything. Like it just, I don't know. I liked everything that I saw on just like the intensity scale of what it was, and it very much felt like world ending. And yeah, that would definitely scare like anyone. I think it's pretty. I don't know. I like the character of Amanda Waller. I like the portrayal or like the acting of the character and everything, but like I think I hate this character, and like the way, not in the sense of like it's poorly written. It's just like I hate this character because she's just so awful. Like she just does these like super shitty things all the time. I feel like it's such a just a rush to just like take this one image and like, hey, we're just gonna assassinate this princess.
Mhm.
It probably might be the right call, but it just seems very not by the book. And I guess that's her whole shtick, is not really being by the book, right? Doing like this questionable like gang force. She wasn't able to do Suicide Squad, so now she has the creature commandos. Like she's just using it like basically on monsters now. Um, so yeah, just very questionable individual, and just not an Amanda Waller fan at all. But I like Viola Davis. She's fantastic.
She is. Yeah, she's fantastic. And yeah, just the character is
Yeah.
always using these around the norm kind of means to, I guess, complete her goals. And yeah, I don't blame her in the situation. It's a difficult call, but like, what are you gonna do? Rick Flag is right, but Rick Flag is also thinking with his penis and not his brain
Oh yeah,
here.
he's fully hard.
He's fully erect, so that sucks. But yeah, just when you see a vision of all these heroes like the Flash and Wonder Woman and like the Man of Steel, Superman dead on a cross, it's like holy shit. Okay, this is not good. We need to do something about this, and it's just it's a crazy thing to think of, this kingdom just taking over the whole world and just doing all this crazy shit. So I don't think we'll ever get here to this kind of a finale. I think that they'll go through a lot of
Just
tribulations, and we're
kill
gonna have
Superman in this
just kill
show. It's
Superman.
like
Yeah, Henry Cavill's Superman specifically.
that's how they explain why they're not going forward with that character. Well, he died in Creature Commandos.
He died in
Go
Creature
watch that show.
Commandos. Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
man.
no,
But
it. Oh, sorry.
no, go for it. Go
No,
for
no,
it.
no. You finish your thoughts.
Uh, yeah. In closing, I just think it was a very neat little tie-in, and this is where I kind of think like this is crazy that these are the heroes that we've seen before in the same universe that's been set up with like the Snyder movies and whatnot, and here they are just on display. Well, actually, maybe that's wrong because interesting. Now that I look at this Superman actually his costume is different, and maybe
It's David Cornsweet.
well, yeah, he's got the red trunks on there.
Oh, really?
And he's got like the little curl on his forehead too. Like if you here, I'll share this image so you can really
Oh,
see
yeah.
it.
There it is. I see it.
You
That's it.
got it. You got it. So you can see he's got the little hair swirl and he's got the red trunks there.
Oh,
Where
yeah.
Cavill Superman does not have that. So that's kind of
Okay.
interesting to think about. And then that looks
I
like
guess
a hot girl.
pull that one back up again. Sorry, the close up of Superman.
There you go.
I mean, the shoulder pads look a little
Yeah,
like what it
there are
is.
shoulder
Yeah,
pads in there too. You
that's
know what?
intriguing.
Wouldn't be surprised then. You're like, yeah, make the Superman like a little bit of a David Cornsweet Superman suit.
Yeah.
That's actually, yeah, interesting. You heard it
Very-
first here, GeekVerse
Yeah,
podcast.
it's very possible. That's not the case, but no, it's definitely red trunks. Oh my God, look at that! It's Ben Affleck. Very
Yeah,
clearly.
that's Ben Affleck's Batman. Yeah, and this looks like Vigilante, the Peacemaker's
Oh yeah,
sidekick, kind of.
right.
And then,
Just for that character.
or maybe it's the Flash. I'm not sure. It's kind of hard to tell. But
Yeah,
it's either or. Because
It's
yeah,
hard to see.
Peacemaker, we do see him in this scene.
he's laying on the ground, and the Wonder Woman's
Yeah.
crown there.
And that's Wonder Woman's crown. That's Cersei there. Looks
Oh,
like
okay.
so. Oh, interesting. Okay, so someone's done a
Hot
examination
Girl,
here.
Supergirl.
So Supergirl, Hot Girl, Booster
The
Gold,
fuck's
Wonder
Booster
Woman,
Gold?
Damian Wayne.
Mm. Like one of the Wayne brothers.
Oh yeah. Oh Little
Damon
Boy
Wayans.
Wonder, the biological son of Bruce Wayne and
Ooh,
Talia.
Al Ghul.
Interesting. I don't
Neat.
know who the fuck can just decipher that and tell that. And on the other side, we
Yeah.
got Starfire, Superman, Mr. Terrific, okay, and
Ah,
Peacemaker, Mr.
T-Spheres.
Terrific. So yeah, that's another
Shouts out to
confirmation too.
Starfire. Cool.
Starfire.
Yeah, that's a lot of dead big heroes. Yeah, I that's just another thing that like bothered me with I think Waller's rashness and like quickness to make this like how is this supposed to happen in like a day, right? Like
Yeah.
she has like infinite military and these like super death robots and this super suit. Maybe she has some like umbrella core base underneath her mansion like that we just don't know about that's like the size of a city. Maybe that is the case. That's where that all is.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe maybe I got rose tinted glasses like Mr. Flag does that I'm just defending the princess here, but it just seems so early that it's like, okay, we have no other option. We just have to assassinate the president, and it's kind of like what's that movie? Minority Report, right? Like arresting the character for the crime that they haven't committed, and even Flag
Yeah.
mentions that, which that is a pretty fucking fucked up idea, right? It's a pretty dystopian type idea of living in a world like that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think I just liked the maybe the believability on why Flag would leave the team for that. And okay, he does have rose tinted glasses for the princess, but it's still like, would he be thinking that if he wasn't boning the princess? I feel like he would still be like pretty. I don't think this is the right way. I feel like he is mostly by the book. But he also has proved that he's not by the book because he's sleeping with the people he's supposed to be protecting. So it's kind of tough to defend my boy here, Mr. Flag. But nonetheless, I think I like the setup, and I'm excited to see the clash of our characters meeting in this country that we can never remember the name. Um, yeah, no, it's not coming to me. It's not bouncing into my head. It's like a Latveria equivalent, but
Something like that.
in the
Yeah.
DC realm.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's always some like weird like just Transylvania type type country. I'm expecting like
Mhm.
Van Helsing to approach.
Uh, I got nothing else to add. Got anything else on your notes?
You got no more juice. What happened to Cersei at the end of the episode? Is she still in captivity?
They just got her detained still. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Mhm.
I couldn't remember. I saw the like flashback sequence, and then we just move forward.
Yeah. She's got that burned Dr. Phosphorus
Yeah.
handprint on her face.
Oh, and fucking Weasel messed her up. Like
Yeah.
she's beaten and blue. I found it funny too when it's like they bring in like this one science chick, and she's just like, as far as I'm aware, she's 100% accurate with her clairvoyant view.
Yeah.
Like, just a lot of that again was a little eye rolly for me, but
I guess the only evidence they have really is Themyscira, right? When she had the premonition, and it turned out to like within the hour of her predetermined premonition time, a tsunami did hit and people did die.
yeah, good point.
So, I guess that's the only kind of factual evidence they have to this claim, but it's still a very bold claim just to overthrow this government and I guess this regime and kill this princess just to protect a possible outcome from ever happening. Big emphasis on possible.
Yeah, I'm very curious what the princess is gonna be like too the next time we see her. Like, is she gonna be just straight up like, it was me the whole time, like I was the evil one, like
yeah, she's already got these thoughts in her mind.
yeah, and it's like, I've been playing you from the get go, Mr. Flag, like stuff like that. I don't know why I keep calling him Mr. Flag too, but I kind of like it's got a ring to it. But I kind of hope it's not the case. I hope it is kind of like a straight up Minority Report type situation. And I might be misremembering that movie, but I feel like she is very much innocent and just scared that these people are coming to murder her. That's kind of what I'm hoping, but we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. If we have nothing else to talk about, we're gonna close this chapter on episode 4 of Creature Commandos. Of course, tune in next week. Well, it's Christmas. Actually, we got Christmas Eve next Tuesday, so we'll have
shift it.
Yeah.
Like maybe we'll do like a Dexter Creature Commandos again on the Friday, just to kind of give us some more time or something like
nice
that.
little Friday tradition. I think it's the 27th. I'm trying to remember quickly in my head. I have some friendly plans. I think it's the 28th though. It's like a Secret Santa gift exchange. So, Look for the Friday though. I'm pretty sure that'll be the date that we'll be dropping both the Dexter and Creature Commandos review,
Hmm.
and if not, it'll be dropped sometime around that time. So thanks for coming. Thanks for going. Till next time, we'll be there.
Bye bye.